Sorry, again, Jeff Escobar, Proscar. So I am also a Roosevelt Island Resident Association representative. I'm also Community Board 8 point representative with Ellen on Community Board 8 for Manhattan. Just a little bit by way of background, I am with one of the top 20 law firms in the country. I practice real estate development and construction. I work by and large in developing large projects for owners and developers, but because I am deeply involved in my community here, I wanted to take advantage of exposing some of my expertise to the other side of the table. About a year and a half ago, when Cornell was first selected as part of the, was to be the developer for the southern part of the island, some individuals from RIRA had come to me and asked, what are the possibilities of how to get community involvement in the development and have it binding. As my understanding is, I've lived here 8 years, but there are people who have lived here longer, and one of the biggest issues has been on the island is that in the greater development plan that there wasn't a binding agreement with the community. Quite frankly, I said to them, well, there is a tool that's used nowadays, which is called the benefit agreement, which to run very quickly without going into intricacies of it. To withstand the rule of law has to be a standalone organization, one that represents the community, a wide swath across the totality of the community. Doesn't represent just residents, it represents community interests from religious to educational to to businesses, and there needs to be an organization that will be representative of all of those needs across the board. We've formed into a public corporation an actual viable entity that would enter into any type of agreement, any type of negotiation with the developer. And I kind of gave a presentation. I just had my child at that time, and I said, I'm not going to talk to you guys anymore. Basically, long story short of it is that these fine young ladies ran with the concept, did the outreach that Judy was talking about, followed kind of the steps of both engaging the community, engaging you all, getting the involvement of one of the largest organizations who are representative of all of the residents of the island, RIRA. At the same time, myself and Ellen were working on the community outreach that Politico is elected with Jessica Lapp and Mike Culinary to Community Board 8 to help basically steer the community, poll and assess the community, work forward. And so what's happening right now is more of the cleanup, if you will, to formalize so that we can proceed and that there is no, one of the biggest issues everyone seems to have is always there's just not a structure, but this is kind of the lay working structure. And the reason why it was put to the end is, quite frankly, as I had said to the group early on when I was approached, is that you can't quite form an organization and tell people to come to it and be part of it without their input. And so this is kind of how this is all culminated. It's kind of backwards, but it's one in which the outreach was done first to get involvement, to get the opinion. And so the bylaws, as they are, I know the bylaws seem very important, and they are, but they're also very malleable. So once they're adopted, as I stated, the participating members are allowed to move to amend, to resolve, to pass resolutions, how it's interpreted. The board accepts it and moves on as well. So it's a very fluid process. It's not one that's encased in cement once it's been ratified.
Thank you. That was very helpful. Thanks. You're welcome.
Okay, so I have in my hot little hand the list of